we are on to round 4. You can go ahead and take your time and count up if you would like to when it comes to, again, we're keeping our yarn on the back side of the fabric. So I flip over to the back and I do my chain up. So you can go ahead and count up your stitches if you would like to, especially if this is your first time doing a granny square. I can already tell that mine is good by the time, or by the way that I can count it up by looking at it, so I know I'm okay. We have going into chain, or round 3, we did our chain up and we turned the work over. We're gonna go ahead and drop this 2 double crochet cluster in here and then do our chain 1. So we're gonna go ahead and step into this corner. We're working 3 double crochets into this cluster right here, or into this space. Also, feel free to watch this video as many times as you need to. That's the beautiful thing about YouTube, is you can, see how I dropped my yarn there. You can sit there and replay and back up, and that's why I never wanted to do this as a live, because I wanted the ability for everyone to sit there and, you know, search terms. You can Google how to make this type of blanket. So I'm really excited that this is gonna happen. So corners do get a little bit fluffed, just a little bit, because sometimes they tend to be a little bit tighter because there's a lot more working yarn in there. But don't be afraid to kind of tug on your fabric just a little bit, or your yarn, just because this is acrylic yarn and it can give quite a bit before anything bad happens to it. So we're working on this next 3 double crochet cluster in that chain 1 space. We're stepping into the next one. We're just moving right along with this. I will do just one opposite color for this piece. I won't do all 5 colors, because that video would probably be like 7 hours long, because the rounds are just gonna get bigger and bigger. But what we're gonna do is I'll show you in the intro of the video what it looks like, what my version of it looks like. So this is a 3 double crochet cluster right here. Just kind of, again, don't be afraid to tug on that fabric. And I'm gonna go ahead and crochet my 2 singles, my 2 chains, and then go right back into that same chain 2 space and work up this 3 double crochet cluster. Chain 1 and on to the next one. That's the beautiful thing about grannies, is you don't even have to really count. You can actually just kind of mindlessly crochet along with the TV playing, or maybe an audio book. I'm currently listening to Midnight Sun by Stephanie Meyer, and hers is always so dramatic, so it's nice to be able to have something not count and you know, focus too much on like you would with some other projects maybe. But yeah, like I said earlier too at the very beginning of this sit down with me, is this project is also interchangeable with knitting. So I will not be doing a knitting video on this one. There are knitting tutorials on this pattern specifically, so you feel free to go watch those. I'm just not the biggest pro at knitting just yet. Give me a couple of years and maybe we'll get there together. But right now, I'm learning through my tutorials and personal progress. Nothing to show the world yet, but it is coming along nicely. I do love my knitting as well. I love crochet too, because of the gauge that I can work in. The size is always nice with crochet. It feels like you're getting more done, which in a sense you are, because your project is bigger and it's working up faster. So again, with the granny, you can drop it after you do your 3 double crochet cluster. You don't even have to sit there and edit on your pattern, because you just completely repeat the same thing 4 times. So you do 1 and then you repeat it 3 more times. So it's super easy to follow along with. Might even get yourself a little glass of wine and snuggle up on the couch with the TV on. And this is a very autumnal blanket. I wanted one that kind of represented the colder weather outside, because I wanted a bulkier, and I wanted it to be something to keep me warm at night. So we're gonna be, you know, in a few months I'll come out with a review on my on a certified review of sleeping with this pattern. take that as you will, because it already sounded really bad. I'm very aware of that. Very, very aware of that. So we are working on this third double crochet one right now. So they're kind of like legs or posts in these corners. So that's another way of looking at them as well. Also, with that midnight sun, I'm listening to it on Audible so I can crochet and cross stitch while I do it. And let me tell you, she is absolutely amazing. That woman has put in so much work on that piece. I can tell. Oh my gosh. So we're gonna go ahead and slip stitch into this final stitch right here. Super simple, super easy. We've been doing it for other rounds. And we're gonna go ahead and take our scissors. Got my scissors right here. And we're gonna leave a few inches for us to finish off later. Sew in those ends. As you can see, this is my ball. This is what I started with. Take it as you will, how much yarn that just used. But also, remember, I have 59 more of these sizes. So don't be too alarmed that I won't have enough yarn, because something tells me I will. So we're gonna go ahead and fasten it off. So what to do with that is I've completed my slip stitch. I'm gonna yarn over and I'm gonna go ahead and just pull through. I will for this part of the pattern, but this is not how I do it normally. Normally I actually stitch with the ends and weave them into as I'm going. It is a little bit more of a advanced practice, but it's really easy to do. So we're gonna go ahead and pull our ends this way. Again, this is the back of the fabric. We can tell that, and also you wanna count your stitches before you fasten off. But I can tell that mine was good. So this is what it looks like right now. If this was blocked, this is what it would look like. So we're doing all right, we're doing all right. That's what it would look like blocked. I love the little parts of yellow and the little parts of brown and purple that just connect all of the pieces together. That's why I love the Karen anniversary cakes. They're stunning. And these are not their normal colors. Normally they have bright colors. These are dull and muted, and I love that. So we are going to be turning our work over so that you're starting on the set of rows on the right side. So the work is like this. We're gonna go ahead and take our next ball of yarn, which is gonna be this tan color that we talked about earlier. We're gonna drop it into our bucket and we're gonna go ahead and pull our yarn through. So with my next color, you're going to do the same slip stitch just to get that first chain. We went over this at the very beginning. I'm not gonna worry too much about my length of my tail because I'm joining, I'm not starting. So it's not a loop situation, but I'm gonna go ahead and start in the same spot that I ended this fabric, or this color, so I can weave them together at the very end of my project. So turn your work over so that you'll be starting this set of rows on the right side. So starting here, I believe. I think here. I'm like pretty certain here. It says join in any chain 2 space with a slip stitch, which is a chain 2 space. So I'm gonna get this top stitch right here, which is this one, and then it's that one if I could have gotten it. Okay, so I got it. We're gonna go ahead and turn our yarn to the back and we're gonna slip stitch in. We're going to chain 2 and we are going to put 2 double crochet in this same chain space. Let me say that one more time. We're gonna put a double crochet in this same chain 2 space, okay? So now we have 2 double crochets, okay? We're gonna go ahead and chain 1, and then we're gonna, what's it called? We're going to 3 double crochet, cluster, and then chain 1 in each one of these spaces across the board. So 1, 2, 3, chain 1. Okay? This is our next chain 1 space, so we're going to go ahead. See how I took this yarn and I'm weaving it in between. I'll give you a closer look at that. So the yarn is right here. I've attached it to this. I'm yarning over, yarning through, and it's stitching it into place. Again, it's an advanced concept, like it's not normal, like it's not talked about in a pattern, so don't worry about it. If you're stressed, just forget about it and just do it the good old-fashioned way, because there's nothing wrong with that. Go ahead and drop that tailed yarn so I can go ahead and move on to this next cluster. And this is where I'm going to kind of deviate from this pattern just a smidge. So I'm not going to do just the box of these corners. So what they want me to do is to chain these clusters in to this corner piece and then stop. So the reason they want me to stop is because on the diagram, which I'm about to show, give me just a second, I'm going to finish this last double crochet. Okay. On this diagram, they want me to stop here. So they want me to have these match. That's bad. On the diagram, they have me wanting to stop here. See how these match? Right here, this white and that brown, this white and that brown. They want me to stop right there and then work up the rows. I am not choosing to do that. This is where I'm modifying, and this is where I'm stepping away from the pattern. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and chain 2. 1, 2, and I'm gonna double crochet another set of 3 into this corner, and then I'm gonna continue working the round, or the row, as one would say. It peaks a corner, so your corner is still peaked on the side to make it squared. So don't worry too much about your corner, just follow along. So I did 2 stitches, 2 chains, and then I went ahead and did 1 3 double crochet cluster. And I'm chaining 1, and I'm going into these single stitches, these spaces, and I'm doing 1 3 double crochet. So 1 3 double crochet cluster, and then I'm chaining 1. And going into the next spot, and I'm chaining 3, I'm doing 3 double crochet cluster, just moving right into the next one. And then I'm simply, if I don't drop my yarn, which is what I just did, and then I'm simply yarning over and I'm chaining 1, and then I'm back in this corner. So this is where I'm gonna yarn over twice, or not yarn over twice, come in here and just do 2 double crochets. Yeah. 3 double crochet, yep, 3 double crochet, 4 chain 1. Chain 3. Okay, so on this end, I should have had 2 double, so this is following the pattern, this side right here. So I have 2 double, I have 2, oh, I messed that one up. So I'm supposed to put 2 double crochets in here. So I'm supposed to have 1 more set of double crochets right here, right? 2 double crochet clusters, 3 double crochet clusters, and then 4 chain 1 spaces. 4 chain 1 spaces. 2 double crochets. I don't know. This is how I'm doing it. The pattern is just a tad bit confusing. This is how I want mine done. So this is how I'm doing mine. So I'm gonna go ahead and drop 1 more double crochet post. And what we're gonna do is we're flipping and we're yarning over twice. See how I did that? Beautiful. Okay. And then what we're gonna do, wait, I need, three double crochet, 1 double crochet. I'm like kind of like designing this as I go. Is that bad? I don't think that's terrible, but I think this one's gonna work. Okay, so only put, yeah, I'm sorry, only chain up 3. Do your chain up. I did it of 2 because that's the way I like mine. And then do your 3 double crochet in here, your 3 double crochet cluster. Sorry, I was designing as I went, so we're gonna go ahead and do a chain 1 and then step into the next chain 1 space that's available and do a 3 double crochet cluster. What we're gonna do is we're gonna do 1 more chain and do the same thing. So we're going into 3 across the board right here. On this side, we have 3 double crochet clusters on these single spaces. So remember that. That's if you wanna follow along with this version. Again, the pattern has something a little bit different and it's still beautiful. I just wanted mine to have a little bit more color shown into it. Let me go ahead and get my yarn together here. Okay, so we're back on this corner. It's just like we worked every other corner in here. We're gonna do 2 3 double crochet clusters with a chain 2 space in between them. So we've got yarn droppage. We have, we're doing this 3rd double crochet right now. We're chaining 2 for our corner. We're pulling it just a little bit tighter and we're chaining another 3 double crochet cluster. I do remember seeing a video that had a similar style as this one with like the shapes being around the edges like this. I'm gonna link that down there below because I did pull from that one, but this one is kind of my design, so it is not my pattern though. This pattern is from Deborah Ellis. And again, that will be linked down below as well. I'm starting to get thirsty. So I'm chaining that 1 right there after that 3 double crochet cluster because we're working out of that corner. Just kind of do a couple up close for y'all so you can really see them. I wanted you to kind of be far away so you can kind of see the overall picture, but again, this is not a video on how to double crochet. It's just how many to do and when to do them. And I also love watching people crochet on Crochet With Me Lives or on, you know, all of that stuff because people are just, oh. It's magic watching it come alive like this, isn't it? A big old car just went by. And then we go into this top one. And we attach. Two. So we chain 2 and then we're slip stitching into that 3rd top one. And then we're gonna chain 1, 2, and then we're on to the next row. So that's what it looks like so far, y'all. So this is the back, don't forget, this is the back side right here. These will become more apparent too once we work into that top one, same thing with that corner. So this is where we're at. What I'm gonna do is, because this is the center, so it goes 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches long, or wide, I'm sorry, 4 rows. I'm gonna do 4 rows of this one. Or not 4 rows, because 4 rows would only be half. I'm gonna do 8 rows of this color. So, 8 rows of this color is it's going to flip over and it's going to cover the rest of it. It's gonna make it look more square and it's gonna be really, really cute. So I can also do a couple of rows of like the finishing colors to kind of seem like it frames the finish. But that is exactly where we're at today. Hey y'all, I'm actually gonna go ahead and check back in because I am doing mine in a different style than what the pattern originally called for. I'm actually gonna show you how I did that because I was kind of working it as I went to figure out which would be the best option. But let me go ahead and finish off this round. I'm doing a total of 8, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I'm just gonna finish off this, I'm gonna start the round to show you how to do that really quick. So we're going up. So I need to finish my last double crochet for this cluster and this spot right here. Okay, so I have my last 3 double crochet cluster and this is what I'm working with. So this is a closed opening right here. So we're gonna stitch up 1, 2, 3, 4. We're then going to flip our work over. Remember, we do have our right side down here. It's pinned to the correct spot. Then we're going to yarn over and then slip stitch and do our first double crochet in that spot. Do our second double crochet and then finally our third. And then 1 chain 1, and then that's our corner. So that's our next row started. There we go. And then I'll show y'all how to end that right now. Alrighty, so I am back. I went ahead and finished off this last row that I had started with and was working with for y'all. So I have my last 3 double crochet cluster right here, and then I have this hole, okay? So we have already seen what to work with when it's like this, where we do the chain 4 and attach, but today we're going to do right here on the other side of the row. So you gotta make sure that you still have your chain 1 space there. You're going to yarn over and you're gonna do your 3 double crochet cluster into this space. Okay? It's pretty cool. And I tend to pull mine up just to get the cluster up to the top. You can go ahead and yarn over and chain up your 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, and then simply flip your work and attach through a double crochet here. Remember, because then you get the hole there. But this is not my stopping point for this color yet, but for this purpose of this video, I'm gonna go ahead and switch a color out so y'all know what that looks like. Just gonna go ahead and pull that yarn off. So when you're working with this pattern, the recommended when you're working into the colors with the L's is when you finish off that row, then you need to turn it to 90 degrees to the right, and then you take your new color and you start here. And then you work your way all the way down the piece, down to this corner, and then all the way down to this corner. And then that will be your frame. So here's the yellow side. This darker brown, this dark purpley brown, will actually go around here to make like a log cabin to build out each row. So I just wanted to show y'all that. I'm gonna go ahead and flip this back over to the right side so you can see how pretty this is working up to be. But yeah, that's all that's gonna be for my video today. I hope you learned just a little bit of something new, and I hope to see some progress of your own work. I'll keep y'all updated in my floss tubes on how this is all looking. Thanks again. I'll see you soon. Bye.